right, well, once again, good evening. It's just a little bit after 7. We appreciate your patience. Meeting everyone. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you for that. We are trying to make accommodations for the rest of the folks that are here so that those that may want to sit, we've opened up the senior center in the back. Hopefully they'll get a chance to sit down, those that want to, and so we can accommodate as many people in the building as we can. We appreciate your patience, and we're going to work towards how we're going to navigate this process together tonight. So just bear with us for a few minutes, and we'll get more into that. All right, so welcome again. We'll call this meeting to order, and we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would stand with me, I overlooked our agenda at City Commissioner Speed for the blessing, but in y'all's presence, I got a little excited, and Commissioner London does a very good job with that, and so I lean to her for that. So Commissioner Speed, would you lead us tonight in Pledge of Allegiance? Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, our first item tonight is our consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
A motion by Commissioner Speed, a second by Commissioner London. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it, and it's so ordered. At this moment, before we embark any further, I'd like the pleasure of the board tonight to insert our county manager for some brief comments. Yeah, well, we can do it, okay? Yes, right now, before public comments. I think it's wise, just so that we have the opportunity. So I would like to support the board tonight through a motion I'm making to allow Ms. Denton to come and bring some comments to us. Second. A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, yes, that's the order. Thank you for that. Ms. Denton?
Thank you, Chairman. All right, I'll say right on that so that everyone in the room can hear my comments. All right, now, can everyone hear? No. Hello? Got it? All right, how about now? Yes. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say I appreciate the attention and the energy in this room tonight. It's nice to know that folks are paying attention to all that's going on in Franklin County. In regard to budgeting, the task of the county manager and the budget team is to ensure that the county's budget is developed in the most fiscally responsible manner to meet the needs of Franklin County and to bring clarity to the information presented. When I speak about a topic or address a matter, you can be assured that I've considered that topic from many angles and explored the impact of any recommendation being made. At the end of last week, a fiscal year 24 budget update was posted on the county website. Based on some of the budget portal comments received, I felt that some additional explanations about how the budget is developed were necessary. So you can find a link to more information around that topic, and we have been displaying that information on the screens tonight before the meeting. And because there have been numerous public comments received about education, over 100 comments at this point through the budget portal, the fiscal year 24 budget update contains information about education, some charts and graphs to lend understanding to education trends in Franklin County and how education has been supported in Franklin County. The time period for this information extends back as far as 20 years. If you have not seen this information, I again encourage you to go to the county website and take a closer look. Funding for the county and county services has grown because the population of Franklin County has grown and the demand for county services has grown. The student population in the Franklin County traditional public school system has not grown. The student population in the traditional public school system in Franklin County in 2023 is approximately the same as 2003, 20 years ago. In 2003, the population in Franklin County was around 51,663. Today, our county population is 75,698. a 46% increase. Yes, growth is happening in our charter school enrollment, and 25% of the county's school-age children now attend charter schools. And I do understand the obligation to fund the traditional public school system as well as provide the increasing funding that North Carolina General Statutes requires for charter schools. I do not want anyone to misunderstand the reality of what is happening with education in Franklin County. Based on the numbers being shared by the superintendent and the North Carolina Department of Instruction, and the North Carolina Department of Instruction ultimately gets their numbers from Franklin County schools. And I'm not in any way sharing this information to be disrespectful to the superintendent, her staff, the Board of Education, or the Board of Commissioners. This is simply in an effort to create an awareness of what's happening with enrollment and education in Franklin County. Because enrollment in Franklin County traditional public schools is down, there is excess capacity in most of the physical facilities. That means there is more space than is needed for the student enrollment that we have, which creates the possibility that capital expenses are greater than needed because of excess capacity in most schools. Over the years, leaders in Franklin County government and leaders in Franklin County schools joined together and worked hard to build up-to-date, safe school facilities and prepare for growth in our traditional public school system. Franklin County taxpayers supported school bonds and paid some of the highest property taxes in the state of North Carolina to fund new school facilities. Now, 20 years later, after investing more than $80 million in school facilities during that 20-year time period, the student enrollment in the traditional public schools has dropped to 2003 levels. But the facilities debt of almost $6 million annually remains. Our children are our future was one of the portal comments, and I cannot agree more. That is why being fiscally responsible with our county resources will allow us to achieve the greatest results. And I would be remiss if I did not comment and give credit to the many county government departments that support education in one way or another. There are at least 16 departments that support or interact with Franklin County schools, some of them on a very routine basis. I want you to look at that information so that you understand how interrelated county government and our schools actually are. In the public safety area, the Sheriff's Office provides school resource officers in a large number of our schools. The EMS department responds when there are emergency calls. The Emergency Management Department provides crisis support, de-escalation situations. The Emergency Communications handles all the calls dispatched for all the public safety in the county, including dispatching calls to the Franklin County Schools facilities, which has risen in the last 20 years. Parks and Recreation, Franklin County Schools and the Franklin County Parks and Recreation Department partner to share facilities and promote and provide activities for Franklin County students and residents year-round. The libraries, Franklin County Libraries partner with Franklin County Schools to provide students access to library collections and materials. Students utilize the public computers and the meeting spaces in all 4 branches of the Franklin County Library System. The airport, Triangle North Executive Airport, provides support to Franklin County schools. Aviation topics, tours, conversations. The Lewisburg High School Air Force ROTC meets at the airport. Economic development, again, representatives from economic development have partnered with education representatives from Franklin County Schools in Vance Granville to address the My Future NC effort. There are activities focusing on the goal of 2 million degreed or credentialed employees entering the workforce by 2030. That's been a topic of great discussion. Franklin County understands that quality education is the foundation for a qualified and engaged workforce needed to support economic development. I work on it every single day for Franklin County. Social services in the health department. The Franklin County Health Department has a sharing arrangement with Franklin County Schools for the school nurse program and teaches health education classes and provides materials to schools. I've seen a recent announcement where there's going to be a back-to-school fair conducted by the Franklin County Health Department for Franklin County schools. Social workers and Department of Social Service staff provide support to Franklin County schools, families, and students. Cooperative Extension. I believe that our cooperative extension agents visit schools weekly to present information and provide materials. Public utilities. We provide services to 8 Franklin County schools. At Franklinton High School, there's reused water delivered for the athletic field irrigation. Administration support. The Board of Commissioners, County Manager's Office, Finance Department, Planning and Inspections Department, all support Franklin County schools as necessary by discussing budget information, providing documentation, supporting school financing activities, and supporting capital projects as needed. The citizens of Franklin County expect and deserve transparency and accurate information from their leadership. Please remember that my duty is much broader than funding a single department for a single objective of taxpayer funds. So when I say that an issue deserves significant analysis, it is because I am placing a high degree of importance on that issue. I make those statements with sincerity and with citizens' best interest in mind. Again, I see a bright future for Franklin County. I do not want the topic of education, a critical topic for our county, to become a dividing topic at a time when it needs to remain a collective focus. And so with all of those things being said, I would now like to offer some amendments to the fiscal year 24 recommended budget. An additional $2,650,330 to fund Franklin County local current expense for education, bringing that total funding to an increase of $3,417,214, and a total recommended funding amount for local current expense of $25,328,192. Another amendment for the recommended fire department tax rates. The White Level Fire Department fiscal year 24 requested tax rate should be appropriately reflected as a 2-cent increase for a total tax rate of 12 cents and a total revenue of $178,000. I'd like to note that the ad valorem tax rate will remain unchanged at 0.785 or 78.5 cents per $100 valuation. The recommended 2% COLA for all full-time and part-time employees will remain unchanged. That is my recommendation due to the other expense level being incurred with this amended recommendation. Based on these recommended changes to the fiscal year 24 recommended budget, the new fund balance, and this is an appropriate number, a very important number, the new fund balance appropriated amount will be $5,424,551, which represents a 52% increase from the fiscal year 23 budget. In regard to the Franklin County Schools capital outlay amount, the recommended amount of 1.5 remains the recommended amount. The Board of Commissioners has requested a capital report by August 21st of 2023 from the Board of Education. The expectation is that the respective staffs will work together to prepare that information. Any additional capital needs or planning will be addressed through this process of developing the capital report. Mr. Chairman, I do not have any other recommended changes at this time to the fiscal year 24 recommended budget.
All right, thank you, Ms. Den, for that presentation and information. We'll move on to item number 2 tonight, which are comments from the public. So let me help everyone understand that we will be conducting a public hearing, which is item number 3 on the agenda. So if you're here to talk about the budget, which is a requirement of state statute that we have a public hearing, you can hold your comments until item number 3. We'd like to reserve public comment item number 2 tonight for those in the room that may have a concern outside of the budget, or any budget items here tonight. Maybe you have a water issue, or a trash issue, or maybe you want to come share lessons, I don't know. So is there anyone in the room? Yes. Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak on public comment? I have several that have signed up here, but it appears from my review and others that everyone here tonight that signed up on this sheet, looks like this, is for education. So is anyone tonight who signed up on one of these sheets that's not, your topic is not education? Mr. Strickland, hold tight. I knew I didn't see anything. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, it's good here. Okay, perfect. Excellent idea. So staff just brought a great suggestion. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Just remember that to allow people from the outside to come in, we're going to recommend that they exit after this.
Yes, so the idea is tonight is as you speak, because everybody can't be in the room that's here tonight, as you speak, if you would just go out the door to the left where Mr. Coy's walking there, the back left here, your right, my left, then we can let someone else who may want to speak come in, and we can kind of fill the spots back in. So everybody follow me on that? All right. All right, so other than Mr. Strickland, and you would like to comment on something other than our budget tonight? Excellent. All right, stand tight just a moment. And you signed up on here?
I did.
Okay, excellent. And your name?
Rodriguez?
I got you. Trina?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Just one moment. Anyone else in the room that would like to comment on something other than our budget tonight? All right, Ms. Rodriguez, if you come forward, just give us your name and your address for the benefit of the clerk.
Yes,
And,
my name is Trina Rodriguez. I reside at 422 Horace Baker Road in Zebulon, North Carolina.
and we have 5 minutes for you to share any of your concerns with us.
Yes. So I recently came in front of the county board and also spoke with Ms. Leela Nichols about an after-school program. I was really surprised to find out that Franklin County has no after-school programs. What kind of message are we sending to our kids? If you can't bounce a ball or if you can't run a race, then you're not important. When I talked to Ms. Nichols, she told me that there were competing priorities for students after school. And that's true, I'm sure. But do you ask those questions when it comes to athletics? Nobody cares how they get there. They know that they're going to show up. But students need more than that. They're more than just athletics. They're whole people. So what I would like to see is that you have some after-school programs for our students. In this county, it's high probability of youth getting in trouble between the times of 2 and 6 p.m. because there's no programs for them. Nobody is caring about what happens to them if they're not participating in sports. There's parents that have to work late, they're trying to get home. There's a lot of things that's happening after school. I have a program that's called Mission Rise. It stands for Reaching and Inspiring Student Excellence. And it is about building the whole student. It's teaching them about confidence, it's teaching them about how to have social skills. We know that the residual from the pandemic and also the the impact of social media that has on our kids. They're becoming more disconnected, they're not engaged, and it's harder to connect with them. I believe that the only way that you really deserve an opportunity to impact a student is to connect with them first. And I believe that this needs to happen. We have to figure out how it is that we can start some programs for after school. I am willing, for one, to go out and try and figure out how to fund an after-school program, how to be able to put one on in conjunction to work along with the parents and the administrators and the teachers. But you have to show some concern too. You have to know that there is a place for our students if they're not doing athletics. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. All right, Mr. Strickland, you come on up. Start talking when you get here. How about that? We'll get everybody in here.
Oh, yeah. Scott Strickland, 40 Shields Lane, Lewisburg, North Carolina, 27549. Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Tonight, of course, our school system is here, and I think we need to fund it the best we can. One thing I'd like to bring to your attention, Chairman, is this guideline for the medical responder program. I'd love to know who the stakeholders was that they met with to design this, and I'd like to ask that you table this until we have time to discuss it with all the departments in Franklin County that's going to be involved with this. People have not been contacted over this, and I'd like to request that we table this until they have been met.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. All right, was there anyone else tonight that wanted to speak on a topic not related to our budget? All right, I don't know who's kind of guiding the back there from our law enforcement committee. We have one or two go out. Is there anyone that we've got out there that's wanting to speak on something other than the budget? That may be a difficult task, but I just want to be sure we're.
All right, we're going to go in.
He thinks he gets 3 extra seconds when he starts talking. I'm really on that, but he means well, so I enjoy this time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you want non-related
Non-related, if at all possible.
educational issues?
Non-related to the budget, period. Yes, sir. Thank you, Sheriff. So that will complete item number 2 tonight, which are comments from the public. We'll move on now to item number 3, which is a public hearing for our FY24 proposed budget. This item is scheduled for our public hearing comments on our proposed FY24 budget. And our action requested tonight is to receive public comments regarding the FY24 proposed budget and consider any possible approval. We do have a big audience, for those of you that haven't noticed. And so tonight, I don't know if you all heard clearly the comments from the manager, but those comments were to increase the funding of the local for our school system to the request that our superintendent had asked for. I want to be sure everyone caught that.
Say it again.
So the request made for local school expense made by our superintendent has been recommended by our county manager in her comments prior to us having public comment. All right, everybody good with that? All right. So what I'm trying to figure out at this moment, because I wasn't expecting you all as much, it's okay. But I've got 5 different ways I can handle this possible, this next event. And it's determining what's the best way. So I'm going to ask for some involvement from maybe our school boards, maybe our chairperson, if you would, Dr. Keith.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank
we've
you
got
so
a couple
much.
options.
We appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'd like to do is have our superintendent to come up and give a few more facts about our enrollment and when we're planning to meet with the capital outlay request.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll have a few words to say.
Okay. Do you think that it's appropriate? Do you think we need everyone to speak, or can we assume that that their presence support your words? I don't want to be that. I don't want to make that assumption.
Well,
So
I'd like to see if anyone is really anxious
Yeah.
to speak after that. If so, raise your hand.
yeah, if you really want to speak tonight, raise your hand, and it's good because I just want to make sure we organize the time here.
There's some in the hallway.
Yeah, there's some out in the hallway, I'm sure. Could you all somehow, instead of me making a decision, I'd ask you all to give me a suggestion on a number?
I'd like our superintendent to go first.
Sure.
And then after she does, then I will go, and it's possible that somebody might not want to go
Okay.
after that.
All right. Because this doesn't require you to sign up. Let me also help you all understand that. Just You don't have, your name doesn't have to be on one of these sheets to speak now at this point. This was just for the public comment side, all right? So you could just be the last person in the door and you have a right tonight to speak. All right, so I just want to be sure that's clear with everyone as well. All right, so let's ask Dr. Schuler then, if you would. I'm sorry. Yes, okay, all right, thank you. You can come forward, I'll take this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because we kind of left it quasi, so I'll take care of that. Just pause, just a second. You're welcome to just stay with. So we have I'll entertain a motion to open this public hearing. A motion?
Second.
And a second. Motion by Commissioner Speed, a second by Commissioner Blunt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it, so ordered for that. Thank you. So our policy is 5 minutes. On our board policy is 5 minutes for public comment. I think that we should extend that, but I hope you all would know that we could be here many hours if everybody came and gave 5 minutes. So maybe we can lean on those around us in confidence that certain ones can share what we want to share, but I'm going to have to probably recommend that we do a 5-minute. Now, this is a discussion of the board as well, because there are other options. The other option is to ask them to appoint a spokesperson or a speaker to speak on their behalf, whether that's a group of 3 or 4 people or one person specifically, or to provide a delegation of a group of folks, with the goal here really being to maintain order and allow this public hearing to be effective. So I'll open for comments from the commissioners. How do you all feel? What are your thoughts or suggestions?
I think if the public feels compelled to speak, I think we should give them 5 minutes and then extend it, make a motion to extend it like we do with every other meeting.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts? All right. Well, hearing none, well then that's my recommendation, Madam Attorney, and we'll do 5 minutes for each speaker who wants to speak. So, I'm very happy with that. We may take an intercession if we need to, so that folks can take a break or anything, use the restroom, whatever they have the time to do that. So, all right. So 5 minutes, Dr. Schuler. Welcome.
Good evening, Chairman Schreiber, members of the Board of Commissioners, Ms. Denton. I'm Rhonda Schuler, Superintendent of Franklin County Schools. My address is 60 Carlson Ridge Drive, Youngsville. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay, let me try that again. Good evening, Chairman Schreiber, members of the Board of Commissioners, and Ms. Denton. I'm Rhonda Schuler, Superintendent of Franklin County Schools. I'm going to move through some of the points that I had already identified because I know that ultimately you haven't made a final decision yet on this budget. It's a recommendation at this point. And I just want to point out a few things around this. Although I'm very happy to hear that you're looking at potentially fully funding our current expenses request. And I'll outline why that's so important. So, we need the additional $3,417,214 in current expenses funding in order to maintain our operations without compromising programs and opportunities for our students. We have not played games. We've been very upfront with what our needs are, and we've asked for what we need. That's it. So I'm going to not play games now. I'm going to just make a few clear points to you this evening. One is that the Board of Commissioners is responsible for funding all, and Ms. Dent pointed this out, all Franklin County schools, all Franklin County students attending either public or charter schools. And we request funds as a district on behalf of all of those students. Our requested increase, and we've said this many times, I'll say it one more, is based on 2 things. More students being served in Franklin County and increased in 31 new students this year, and the Board of Commissioners funded half of them. This reduced the amount of funding for our students by $65 per child this year. So we have felt the impact of that. We have at least 354 more new students for the upcoming school year in either public or charter schools, and this equates to over 985 more students in a 2-year period of time. And your budget recommendation, as it stood before, just didn't recognize that increase. The county manager's budget recommendation, a previous recommendation, did give a pretty significant increase to local county government, and less an increase for our students. That was at an 18.7% for local government and 6.9% for our student population. for schools and funding. So that's something that needed to be addressed, and I did want to mention that. An example of how inflation is affecting our schools, just a practical example. The original proposal was $766,000 roughly additional dollars. So we are being told to expect our electricity cost to increase $440,000 for the upcoming school year, and our state mandated retirement match increases $330,000. So when you think about that 766, and then you look at those two factors absorbing all of those fund potential increases, those are just two examples of the inflationary impacts on our budget. And that doesn't deduct the charter school piece of that $766,000. It has been mentioned, I've heard this said, that we don't know what the state will do from a funding standpoint, and that's true. We don't know what the state will do. But we do know that the state pays for different things than our local funds do. So I just wanted to reiterate that. The state funds don't pay for local teacher supplements or signing bonuses or other financial incentives that motivate folks to come to Franklin County and teach and stay and work and stay in Franklin County. They don't pay for coaching stipends, athletic trainers, and security that allows us to have athletics. They don't pay for our cleaning and maintenance of our facilities and grounds. State funding doesn't pay for our heating and electricity, and these are just a few examples of the things that local funds pay for, and the cost of those things continues to go up. Capital outlay needs, and I know this is something we're going to have an ongoing conversation about, and we're looking forward to joining you all by August 21st to discuss that in a more formal way. But we have facilities needs that we've identified for all of our schools, and we want to make sure that all of our schools are safe, inviting learning environments for our students, and I know that you do as well. So we'll be working on that with you all. I'll just end with saying, Franklin County is a great place to be, and we have amazing staff, families, and members of our community, many of whom are here tonight, because they want to ensure that every child in Franklin County receives a quality education that will prepare them to be successful in the world beyond the classroom. As a side note, I received an email from a grandparent today telling me that he was concerned about the funding from the county, local funding, and he offered to send a check. He has 4 grandchildren in Franklin County schools.
Make a motion, we extend the session.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? All right, yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Thanks. So we had a grandfather who emailed me today to let me know that he was concerned. He was a resident of Franklin County, had 5 children that went through Franklin County schools, and has 4 grandchildren currently in Franklin County schools. And he was concerned about the level of funding from the county, and he offered to send a check for $250, which is the difference was the difference in the shortfall per pupil funding from our request per child. So he said, I will pay the $250 each for each of my grandchildren to ensure that they get what they need. And I think that that was touching. And my response to that is that they've already made their financial contribution to the county by paying taxes, and they should feel confident that their child will receive a quality education in Franklin County with those taxpayers' dollars. And we're committed to that. And based on your action tonight, if you approve that budget fully, I think you demonstrate that as well. And I have to believe that our elected officials in Franklin County, both our Board of Education and our Board of Commissioners, share a commitment to making sure that our students have what they need to be successful. We need that entire $3,417,214 in current expenses to maintain our operations as they are. And we also need additional funding to support our capital improvement needs. And I know that will be an ongoing conversation with you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairperson Shiver and all of the members of the Board of Commissioners. First of all, let me say thank you, because we desperately need that $3,417,214 to continue our operations without interruption and without having to cut activities for extracurricular activities as well as for staff. So thank you for doing that, and we look forward to working with you on the additional 1.5 for the capital outlay. I serve as chairperson of the Franklin County Board of Education, and the board was in unanimous agreement that we needed what we asked for. It was not something we contrived or that the superintendent and her staff contrived. We all worked on that, and it was unanimous that that was what we needed. We take our roles very seriously, and we make decisions not based on politics nor political affiliation, but what is in the best interest of the children of Franklin County. And like Dr. Schuler said, two important points that we took into consideration was the increased growth in children served in Franklin County. And that included charter schools, because we're responsible for asking for money for them, because we have to take care of that. And of course, all of us know about the inflationary costs that we are dealing with. So again, I want to say thank you all for funding what we requested, because like I said, there is no fluff in it. It was on a needs basis. And also, I had one comment at the end that I wanted to say. It's been said that you can tell what is important to an organization by looking at its budget. I'm glad when the citizens of Franklin County look at the county's final budget that it will be crystal clear that all of us have the children of Franklin County as being the utmost importance in our lives. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. All right, others that want to come forward to speak, I guess maybe make a line here, just at least 3 or 4. I don't want everybody, 20 people to have to stand for an hour and a half. So however you want to make your line, let Mr. Piper get up here. Good to see him today. And y'all, you might be able to pull it around if it's better for you, but whatever works for you.
I think this is fine. Greetings, Chairman Schreiber,
Good evening, sir.
Ms. Kim Denton, and the main members of the Board of Commissioners. And we're not here tonight to be adversarial by any means, but we are here to advocate for children. And I appreciate Ms. Denton's recommendation to the board. And saying all that, I'm going to try to cut through and make it a little quicker. But I did want to start, and my role tonight was I was going to not get into statistics, but just talk about the importance of education. I'm going to use Mr. Theodore Roosevelt's quote from way back when. He said, "The nation's most valuable asset is the children. For the children are the nation of the future, and all people alive in the nation need to strive and work together to work for the moral, spiritual, and physical welfare of the children in all parts of our land." And the citizens of Franklin County have a very important stake in public education, whether it be a traditional school or a charter school. But because there can be no significant outcome in the education of any child which is not of importance, not to the child only, but also to the others, immediately to everyone in our county and those remotely that the child will later live and work. Education is for the common good, much like our roads and bridges. It is essential. It is the essential condition of a human progress that we as leaders of our community act in ways that we are public servants and that our work improves the human condition of our children. Amen. The most basic function of education is to teach our children to be productive citizens in our community. Civilized communities undertake education as a part of their proper business. It is not charity, but a necessary public function to use the resources to educate each and every child. Schools are tax supported and attendance is compulsory. There's a reason for that. And the reason is the common good of all the citizens in our county, state, and nation. And it is our duty that we do the best we can to educate all of our children for success today and tomorrow. And I will leave off all this facts and statistics, but the approval of the budget request that has been submitted to you, as Dr. Keefe said, has been unanimously supported by all of my colleagues. All of the board members have been on board. And as Dr. Schuler mentioned, the reason it was higher than in the past was basically two things. In your audit for fiscal year 22, that some of you may remember, they said that Franklin County Schools on page 6 have 8 new residents per day. When you multiply that by 365 days, that's 2,920 new residents, or 3 households. We completed a study with ORED, and your planning department participated in it. It shows that for the next 10 years, student growth is going to continually go up. Sure, we're down on the traditional side, but the charter school is rising, and we have to fund both of them. And these kids are going to go to either charter school or Franklin County schools. And the second reason was inflation, and we don't need to say any more about that. I think everybody here knows that the past 2 years things have skyrocketed. For many years, I was blessed to have served with Miss Shelby Street, because if you got this big of a crowd in education, you can't go without mentioning Miss Shelby Street. For many years, I was blessed to have served with Mrs. Shelby Street on the superintendent's leadership team. Sometimes we all had different views or ideas on how to provide services or resources to the schools. And each time Mrs. Street would bring everybody back into focus. She would say, "We've got to do what's best for the children."
Amen.
Always remember, what decisions we make is what's best for the children. Well, Mrs. Street's words are true tonight. What is best for the children is for you to fund the budget request fully per the recommendation of the county manager. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Ms. Denton, for your recommendation to fully fund the local current expense, because the local current expense is where the action's at. That's the programs, that's the people, that's what goes on for 180 days and 220 if you count the teacher work days and everything else. So thank you again, and like I said, we've also welcomed your suggestion about a facility utilization study and all that, because we got all that information, and it won't take no time. I'll put Dr. Webb on the spot, but it won't take hardly any time to get you that information. Thank you.
Good evening. I am extremely nervous, so I hope we'll get through this. My name is Sandra Askew. I'm the Director of Technology for Franklin County Schools, and I'm going to read directly from my paper. My daughter timed it is 3 minutes, and then I'm going to be out of here. Okay?
So we went to high school together, so I'm going to encourage you to breathe between the words.
Yeah, I'll try to read too fast. Thanks, Mike. Thank you all for giving me the time this evening to speak. I can teach you anything you want, any day of the week, but this makes me nervous. Okay, you can hear my voice. I am here tonight to speak with you from multiple lenses. First, I am a lifelong resident of Franklin County and a proud 1989 graduate of Bunn High School. Go Wildcats. As a resident, my 3 children also are graduates of Franklin County Schools, specifically Lewisburg High School classes 2014, 2016, and 2017. I am also a district employee, having served 29 years as a teacher, instructional technology facilitator, and currently serve as the Director of Technology. As a resident, Franklin County Schools graduate, parent of 3 Franklin County School graduates, and invested employee, I know the district from multiple perspectives that uniquely qualify me to speak with you tonight. It comes as no surprise to you that I'm here to speak specifically about the importance of funding Franklin County Schools fully. Personally, I want all of the students in Franklin County to have a great educational experience, because I did and my children did. I want even more for today's students, because the world is very different from the one that you and I grew up in. I consider this each and every day when I go through my day. Every day my work focuses on ways to help all students learn, problem solve, see their own value, and develop into young adults who will go forward and contribute to our community. Without adequate funding,
We will not provide adequate resources, support learning and teaching, which is our core business. Professionally, I implore you to consider the technology needs of Franklin County Schools. Technology touches every aspect of the district, from our one-to-one initiative to provide devices for every student, to providing meals and safe transportation during every school day. The district's capital outlay budget includes specific line items that directly impact every student and staff member through improvements. These are not expansion items that are on a wish list. Rather, they are necessities our students and staff members require, or a topic that is at the top of everyone's mind. For example, our SROs will see better speeds in viewing security cameras and operating door access controls. Upgrades in our technology infrastructure will support process and systematic improvements across the district. For example, our maintenance department will have the ability to monitor HVAC systems at schools more efficiently. Our requests also include funding to implement a voice-over IP phone system similar to the system recently implemented for Franklin County. Enhanced communication tools will benefit everyone: our students, our parents, our staff, and our community members. The funding requested for these items may seem steep. In recent years, working through the pandemic, we could not have planned for, seeing increases in county population, the growth of public charter schools, a challenging economy, and greater student social and emotional needs. Our district has been a great steward of the funds we have received. We have reached a critical crossroads, however, where we will be failing our students unless you fully fund our district's budget request. As a resident, graduate, parent of 3 graduates, and an employee, I assure you that this is a small price to pay, a small investment compared to the expected return on that investment in our students, our staff, and our schools. And I do so much appreciate the recommendations that were made towards our budget tonight. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to partnering with you to move our district and county's technology and all programs forward.
Thank you, sir. If you could give me your name and address so I can check you off this list. Did you sign up here?
I did.
Okay, just want to.
Willie Hill, 1779, AC 39.
All right, sir, 5 minutes. Thank you.
Our vision: building a strong community, one lifelong learner at a time. Our mission: Franklin County Schools will cultivate a dynamic learning environment focused on success beyond the classroom, preparing, inspiring, and illuminating the path so that all students will reach their full potential. Good evening, Commissioner Schreiber, Commissioner Bunn, Commissioner London, Commissioner Bragg, Commissioner Speed, Commissioner Floyd, Commissioner Pierce, County Manager Denton, and all of Franklin County School Board personnel, Superintendent Dr. Schuler, faculty, staff, and all friends. My name is Willie Hill, Jr. I'm a resident of Franklin County and have been for over 60 years. I have been employed with Franklin County School District since 2011. I have 2 daughters that are a product of this county, class of 2004 and class of 2011, and a grandson that is a 6th grader, and a granddaughter that will be attending school in approximately 2 years. As you can see, I stand behind this county 100%. I would like to thank the county commissioners for their continued support in the past and present years. I stood in the same position in 2019 with a request, and tonight I would like to make another if possible. The maintenance/custodial department is an important department within Franklin County Schools. We are your fetchers and totals, your movers and shakers. Within the 4 years time span since I have spoke with you, a lot has changed and required our department to be frontline warriors. In 2019, COVID changed our livelihood. Our kids as well as staff was forced to find a new normal. The change in life also presents a change in resources that are utilized to ensure the safety of every individual associated with Franklin County Schools. Due to supply and demand, increased inflation, the increased growth in student population, and the cost of the resources to keep schools, central offices clean and safe, and materials to keep our students striving for success has increased. Therefore, the requested budget is needed, and I want to thank you tonight for the $417,214 increase that Dr. Short has presented to you. I'm consistently meeting with vendors, negotiating costs for materials to ensure that we aren't overspending the allotted budget. And with the news that we are facing a budget cut, this will really put the school system in a bind. Each day, our students cross the threshold of their respective schools. They are interacting with students from all walks of life. Our goal is to ensure all students and staff are always safe. In order to ensure this goal is carried out, we need the finances and resources. Lastly, facing a budget cut would also mean the loss of staff members. Personally, we sometimes struggle with the staff that we have, that we must be in 2 or 3 places at one time. We need our custodians as well as maintenance staff to remain intact. In conclusion, I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope that some of you, if not all, my words resonate with you, and you find in your heart to approve the requested amount so that we, the Franklin County School family, do not have to lose any of the 78% of our needs that wouldn't be met if the budget is cut. If I could leave with you one thought tonight, it would be this. If our vision is to build and our mission is to prepare and inspire, how would cutting the budget implement either of those? We need heat and air conditioning, electricity, custodians, maintenance, staff, teachers, technology, fine arts, STEM, athletic supplies, materials, etc. To carry out this vision and mission, the Franklin County Schools stand behind. Thank you.
Well, as a teacher, we get thrown curveballs all the time and have to pivot on the fly. So that's what I'm doing right now, because Kim didn't thank you for the curveball you just threw. And I hope the commissioners will stand with your county manager in meeting her recommendation that I am very happy and pleased to hear about. But I do want to bring 2 things up now that I'm not going to go through my very well-prepared speech. And that is, you will be remembered for your actions. And I hope that your actions will show that you have stood in solidarity with Franklin County residents and students and schools, and shown that you are supporting the budget requested by our school system, which we now know is not full of fluff and fat. It is modest at best, because the much needed funding, it goes beyond the inflation and all that we've heard tonight. You know, I'm an art teacher, so when you start talking budget cuts, I know where that's coming. It's going to be in my classroom, because that's where they cut first. And don't be the commissioners that are going to be remembered for taking the arts away from Franklin County students. Teacher supplements are funded locally. Please don't be the commissioners to be remembered in history for taking supplements away from Franklin County teachers, because they're going to go to Wake County where they can make more money, and we can't afford to lose any more teachers in this county. Another funding issue that has loomed on our horizon for 30 years, and that is Leandro. And Leandro, if you don't know about it, just Google it, because there's plenty of information out there. That is money that our state is holding hostage, and it rightfully belongs to the North Carolina public school system and Franklin County public school system. If our state would release that money, we would have $22.2 million in Franklin County over the next 5 years. That is $4 to $5 million extra each year. I think we can all agree we can use that money. Here's what I would like to see. Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Franklin County Board of Education, Dr. Schuler, and Franklin County Schools stand in solidarity, pass a resolution joining other counties who have done this to help pressure our General Assembly in Raleigh to release this funding to the North Carolina Public Schools and Franklin County, because it's there. It's not that the money's not there. It's there. They just don't want to release it. And I have been advocating for Leandro probably 20 years. So I know the Leandro system inside and out. The money is there. I would love to see the three of you come together and pass a resolution and join other counties in this state to have that money released to our school system, because that's $22.2 million we can use. And be remembered for that. That's a nice historical thing to be remembered for. All right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hope Wright. I am the proud parent, my husband and I, of a upcoming Bund High School senior.
One second, I need your name and address for the benefit of the clerk. I'll have one.
My name is Hope Wright, 122 Grant Street, Louisville.
All right, thank you.
The late great Tina Turner song in May of 1984 said, "What's love got to do with it?" It's a song that I have an answer to tonight. What does love have to do with it when it comes to the students in Franklin County? I am glad to have an answer for that. It has everything to do with it. I am here in support of Franklin County Schools' requested budgets to the commissioners tonight. My husband and I, as I stated before, we're the proud parents of an uprising Bund High School senior student, and we want her and all of the Franklin County students to have every opportunity to learn, grow academically, and be successful in her future as well as theirs. As I stated before, I am here in support of the school system's budget request, which is really in support of not only my child, but all children of Franklin County. I am asking that you please honor the request of Franklin County's Board of Education of the $3.4 million plus for current expenses and the $3 million for the capital outlay, as these funds will help alleviate some of the issues, and I do repeat, some of the issues of increased costs of transporting students to and from school, retaining and supporting highly qualified teachers and staff, updates and additions to the elements of safety in support of athletics, CTE, career and technical education, and STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I don't know everything that the funding would do. However, these are only a few things that I know would be needed. So as a proud parent, I'm asking you to please fund the school budget system at the requested amount. Thank you for your time.